Happy Friday, low and slow family. Welcome to GrillCave Banter. This week, I've just got the James Squire 150 lashes again because I bought a couple of slabs, and so I'm going to go through that before I buy anything else. So, yeah. So this is episode 2, and this week I'm just going to talk about how I found low and slow barbecue. So, my journey into American real smoking style barbecue, what I started cooking, all the pits I bought, how I got into it, and how it became like so big, massive part of my life, why I do it, my favorite foods to cook, and what I plan on doing with it in the future with grill marks. So, yeah, here we go. Before I get into this, one thing we just got to look at. Did you all see that the brewery in WA that are using old expired donuts, fermented donuts, to make their beer, the craft beer? Check this out. So I'm going to hunt down and find out how to get a hold of some of those, because I'm keen. Whether it's good or not, I'm keen. They look damn good. So like I said, I'm drinking the James Squire 150 lashes again. So grab a brew, let's talk, and let us know in the comments what you guys are drinking. Cheers. So basically about 5 years ago, almost, 4 and a bit, I just bought a new gas grill. I had a small little El Cheapo one, just like, not even a grill grate on it, just, your hot plate, your footy snag sort of one. Wanted one that was like, I could, flame grill burgers. Not even knowing back then that, even if you bought a gas barbecue, a nice one, that it was half hot plate and then half grill grate, that it still had flame tamers on it. You're not even cooking directly over the fire. I know the fat would drip down and then, that would steam and smoke off and go back into the meat, but you're still not getting the fire flavour. And I knew that was something I wanted. And I think when I bought the gas barbecue, I wasn't really so much aware of the flame. I had no idea. The flame tamer stuff, I was not a clue. And so I thought, this is how I'll get flame grill, and then I can use the hot plate thing if I want. But I really wanted flame grill barbecue. That was just something I tasted, I wanted. And so when I found out I couldn't defeat the purpose, I really didn't understand the whole gas barbecue thing then, because I'm like, so it's just a giant outdoor frying pan. Great. Not complaining, everybody loves, an Aussie sausage sizzle, can't say that word, or an outdoor cook-off, or, in Australia, a barbecue is an event. It's an outdoor cooking experience. It's different here to what it is in other places of the world. So, whilst I love that, and, I was like, okay, well, to cook inside, if it's just me, like, whatever. I wanted the flame grill. So I actually removed the flame tamers off the gas barbecue and let the flame soar up and hit, the steaks or the burgers, whatever I was cooking. Which is funny, because I understand, like, you're going to know how many fat flare-ups I had, or nearly flame gas situations we nearly ran into. It potentially could have been bad. We got a lot of big flare-ups. But I learned how to control that over time, and I wanted to know more how I could play around with things and how to grill properly and how to control flames. So basically, I just started grilling. Flame grilling was my interest. I really wanted to nail that and give people good, flame grilled barbecue food. And then, so, as you do, you go down the rabbit hole, you YouTube and Google, and basically what it led me to is showing, charcoal gives a more authentic flavour as well. So not only are you flame grilling, you're getting this cool charcoal food. And in all honesty, the first thing that went to my head is, I've had charcoal chicken, I've had charcoal spit roast, and they're damn good. Maybe I should cook like that all the time. Then I thought, what a pain in the ass, won't do that now. And I didn't actually bother with that. What it did lead me to when I was Googling this stuff, though, the smoking and smoke boxes for, smoking on a gas grill. I thought, smoking. Yeah, I know, I sort of heard of it and knew what it was, but I never really thought much into it. And so what I did, I, looked at how people were using their gas grill to smoke stuff. And so I think what the first thing I did is I went to, it was either Bunnings or Barbecues Galore, and I bought just like one of those, those thin metal boxes that you put wood chips in. You soak the wood chips and put them in. You can use it in your gas grill or on a Weber or whatever. And so I gave that a go, and funny me going, oh, everyone seems to be cooking this brisket thing. I'll give that a go. That'll be easy. Ha! Big mistake, right? It was horrible. Tried to cook it in 5 hours. It was about a 4-kilo brisket, and it was hard, chewy, and any smoke flavour that did penetrate it was weak and shitty. And because I panicked about us not being ready for dinner, I bumping up gas as well. So I ended up really slowly smoking this thing barely for like 5 hours, keeping it cold, and then ended up basically ovening the shit out of it on the gas barbecue. I had it to one side, and then I had the hot plate there as a heat indirect, so it was just like an oven with the hood down on the gas barbecue. And then even panicking a little bit more, I thought, I need to put this heat up. So I actually put the thing on the grill grate over the fire, trying to, I had no fucking idea what I was doing. Anyway, kept going down the rabbit hole, kept learning, ended up buying, I went away from the grilling and the fire thing for a minute, and I went, oh, the smoking thing, I want to learn more about this is cool. For whatever reason, I don't know what it was. Whether it was the idea of it taking long or it being a hard art, something challenging. I gravitate to that sort of thing. Whatever it was, it really, really intrigued me, so I went for it. I went for it. I went to Barbecues Galore and got their, what do they call it? I don't know, it was a gas smoker. Just an upright gas smoker, like a water smoker. I can't remember what they called that brand, but a red Honest or red I don't know. It was like the quality, I'd say, was comparable to like the Bunnings Finetto, so it wasn't terrible, but for a beginner, it was good. It was alright. Learned to use the gas smoker. Man, for like in the first 6 months, everything I cooked was not tender, was not fully done, was not, the smoke was like acidic, like it was like white puffy smoke. It was infusing the meat with, like, now whether it wasn't hot enough and the wood chips that we're using, whether too big or I was wetting them or not wetting them, or the learning curve, I never got it right on the gas smoker, like from day one. I kept trying, and over time I was like, I need the proper thermometers, so I got, Maverick Probe thermometers. I need smaller chips. I need to dunk them. I don't need to. I need wood chunks. Now it's to do with the dampers and the oxygen, even though it's a gas smoker and you set the temperature, like it was, how high the flames are going to be burning under the bowl. I swear half the time I either ended up making poisoned food because of the acidic smoke, cast night, or something that was unedible and chewy, or it was steamed, not smoked, because of the water bowl, and just overkilling on that. Opening the door every fucking 10 minutes. What a rookie move, right? But that's what I was doing, basically. And for some reason, I thought, this is just a crappy unit. There's got to be an easier way to learn. Maybe I need something a little better. Like a real dumbass, when I already struggled to figure out what I'm doing, I go and buy a Pro Smoke offset smoker. An offset. And not a El Cheapo one either. Pro Smoke, which were, so I've used Flaming Grills one as well, Flaming Coals as well, their one. And this is pretty comparable. I don't know if you've seen them, like Barbecues Galore. It's like Pro Smoke is like one of their brands. And this thing's made of thick steel. I learnt on that for a while. Same thing. It was so shit. Like, everything I did was crap. People told me it was good, but you never know. And after 12 beers, anything tastes good, hey? But the funny thing was, like, because I had no idea and I kept getting frustrated, I spent 2.5 years learning on that thing, basically. Just everything. And thing is, I've cooked other foods, but like ribs and lamb and things like that, but because I started with brisket, even though knowing it was the hardest, I wanted to keep trying to get that perfect. So pretty much from the get-go, I was trying to cook the hardest food, and from about a year in, I'm using the hardest, most old-school pit you could use, an offset smoker. And everything was a challenge. I even had water damage because I didn't have proper storage to put it in before. Like, it was under a tarp, under another tarp, under a clothesline that had a tarp. It got flooded, it got molded, and needed cleaning. I had trouble with weather and oxygen cooking through colder seasons. Pain in the ass. So you come 2 years or so later, And I'm getting pretty damn good at this thing. I could use briquettes, I could use lump charcoal. I'm no longer even using just hickory wood chunks. I'm going to a farm that used to be up in Berwick near me, in Melbourne. And they provided the right, already pre-cut size ironbark wood, Aussie ironbark. So I'd go and get that by the bucket load, and I had storage for it. I had everything. I had every pro tool you could possibly have. I had charcoal lighting guns. I had this thing nailed down. And I wanted to eventually learn to play with other pits. I mean, because I really liked making the fire and controlling it. Even though there was about a year there where I pretty much stopped and said, "Fuck, this is too hard. It's not worth it." Or by the end of the day of the cook and trying to get it right, I didn't even want to eat it because I smelled like an ashtray and full of smoke, and it was never thin blue. Anyway, you fast forward through it. At the end of this, I got thin blue smoke. I got everything down pat, and I consider myself at that point pretty good. Not a beginner. Like, I was all right. Like, at this point where now, like, I knew my food was getting better. All my cooks, I'm pretty happy with. But the way I do my chicken, the way I do my lamb, the way I do my baby back ribs, they're my secret. They are my... When I compete, they're going to be... I'll be surprised if they're not up there. I mean, my sweet and spicy baby backs are good. But, like, brisket, it's still getting better and better and better. And I'm still learning with that. And each time I do it, it gets better. And it's a tough one. I'm happy with where it's at now. But that took a lot to record. Like, that was every cook, I'm noting it down. How long am I cooking it? Is it a flat or a point? What's the ambient temperature of the pit? What's the weather conditions outside? Was it windy? What rub did I use? When did I wrap? Did I wrap? And I don't just do this for brisket. I do this for like every single cook I'm doing, still to this day. And what I do is I might eventually end up with 10 to 12 of the same cook, but done slightly different, and I'm giving it a rating. I'm actually scoring it out of 10 each time. And what I've done is I start off with 10 of one cook, of one food. Then I've narrowed it down to cull them off the ways that didn't work, combine them. All the ones that are high rating, I've got anything that's, between anything that was a 5 and up on the 5 out of 10. I would then chip away and get better and combine them to where pretty much every cook that I have is somewhere, nothing's below a 7 now. Even my brisket, I call sitting at a 7, but my baby backs, I've never got anything 10, because I think you can never call anything a 10. And if I did, well, then it would no longer be out of 10. I'd make it out of 20, another tier. But, my ribs are 9.5, lamb is an 8, my chicken drums, my lollipop chickens are an 8, my chicken thighs are a 9.5. Short ribs is something I still call a 5 because I don't do them enough. Rump roast, still call them a 6 just because I think I'm not finding the right cut to cook with. But anyway, pit mastering the best thing about it is such an art. You're always learning, you can always get better, and you are never perfect. And even if you're at a status where other people call you a pit master, you even ask the real guys out there, your Tuffy Stones, your Myron Nixons, your whatever, they will always say you never stop freaking learning. And that's why I love barbecue. That's the element that made me fall in love with it. So fast forward again. We're talking a few years later. What have I got? Got my gas grill barbecue. I got my flat top stove barbecue. I got a Weber kettle. I have an El Cheapo kettle barbecue from Bunnings, like a jumbuck one that I just use for messing around with and testing things and filming videos. I got my Traeger Pro 575. I got my Pro Series Traeger 22. I have my Pro Smoke offset. I had a Pro Smoke reverse flow offset too, which I love, but unfortunately that had some rust damage. And I don't know if that was due to the weather or whether it was something to do with a coating issue on it. Like a faulty coating on the pit when I bought, I don't know. But that, I gotta figure out whether I can return or whatever the deal is there. But I have a lot, and then I've got a bunch of damaged ones too that have been weathered or not maintained as well as I'd like. And I don't have it anymore, but I had the gas upright smoker. I've even tried making my own brick. I've made my own outdoor grill thing at one point with stacked up bricks and just added grill grate, full tray, charcoal in there. It didn't last long. I mean, I'm not much of the buildy guy, but it was cool to play with. I felt like a real caveman playing on an open fire. Just finding yourself it's like, you know, it's like putting a shopping trolley over the open fire and cook it on that. Like, it was cool. I even tried to find a way to insulate it quickly so if I could indirect cook. So I'm not going to say smoking because it wasn't that low, but it was enough to do barbecuing, like indirect barbecuing for, you know, an hour or whatever. That was cool. I like to mess around with stuff like that. So over all these years, I have spent time just trying to develop my skill, get better at everything. I've got plenty of different tools. I've tried plenty of different woods, rubs, any barbecue event that comes around I want to be at, I try to go to. I try to start with all the people that are following Low and Slow. You know, as far as a lot of my learning, wherever I could, I started off watching like your American, you know, barbecue pitmasters, your Moke Stone, your Tuffy Stone, Myron Mixon, and then you find guys, you know, Cosmos, of course. You learn from guys like him. Even you know, you look at Malcolm, How to Barbecue Right. There's another guy there I'm just trying to think of. The name eludes me right now. Anyway. Yeah, but just and even the little guys like me who are trying to show stuff, just anything you can learn from, being open to it. And to this day, I still do that. But all the information I've learnt and gathered, I want to share that with everyone because 5 years in, I still love it. I'm still wanting to learn. You know, I consider myself like decent enough that I know my things in the world of Low and Slow barbecue, and I just want to share that knowledge. So. Yeah, that is basically my story and where I'm at the moment. As far as my... so you have to pause and have a drink. You can't not. So I don't care if I'm mid-sentence. So, you know what? Actually, everybody, good moment. Pause, grab your brewski, have a skull. 1, 2, 3, go. Thank you, Love Friday. Yeah. So Grillmarks Barbecue, you guys see it. I put up, you know, footage of my cooks, any tips that I come up with, the results I'm working with, and then obviously I can't do that all the time. Like, I've got a family, a full-time job. I can't be cooking all the time and post, which I want to, and I will try, especially during winter, where it's easy to just stay indoors and not. But that's why I wanted to engage with the community. I wanted to get engaging with everybody, doing this every week to talk about barbecue. That way, even if we're not out there smoking food, we're talking about it, we're getting excited about it, and we're creating a community. You know, we're having a beer together and we're talking, or it's me talking, you guys listening, or me talking and no one ever watching this, and I end up laughing at myself later on watching it. Whatever. I enjoy it. It's just as much for me as it is for anyone else that is going to watch it. So if you are watching this, I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. In fact, cheers to you. Beer break. But there are people out there that care enough about this as much as I do, and they're passionate about it, and it makes them smile, makes them happy, and there's a community there. Not just globally, but it's growing stronger and stronger in Australia. And, you know, you look at the people that are part of that. I mean, let's talk, you know, Ben Arnott, the Smoking Hot Confessions. Man, he does a good job for the community. Of course, Jay Beaumont, I mean, Meat Stock, what a guy. There are plenty of dudes out there. Like, there are so many big people trying to make moves in this space. And I'm not here to try and make moves or compete or take over or do anything like that. It's just, I love it so much. And I actually started Grillmarks Barbecues 3 times. And I actually shut myself down thinking, I'm not ready. When I started barbecuing, just as a vlog of my journey, and I thought, this is a waste. This is not working. I've got to get better. Then I came back and I actually started primarily on Facebook, purely just posting in the Australasian Barbecue Alliance forum, and got a lot of positive response there, but then I lost the page and it shut down and all this happened. I left it a bit longer. But when I came back this time, I'm like, nah, consistency. I want to be a part of this community and you know, join everyone here. And it's fun, man. I love, you know, going online and seeing everybody getting as excited as I do about Low and Slow barbecue. And I love being part of that. And I love talking with this community. And it's why when I always go to Meat Stock. It's such a shame that through the pandemic we lost that. But man, they made up for it this year. But But even going there, like this year, I wanted to do something special. I know they do their own video montages and their production, but like I wanted to do, and that's why there was a lot of the camera showing me and me looking around, because it's like I wanted to show you me enjoying meat stock from my perspective. You know, it was a Grill Marks barbecue at Meat Stock Melbourne, because it's like I had a hell of a time, and I feel like if you watch the videos that I've, you know, the collage that I've done, you guys can see that, and you can see I care, and you can see I wanted to document what I'm seeing, what I'm viewing, and it was awesome content. I got some good content, and I'm proud of that, and I'm proud of that video, and I was proud to be part of that and be there, and I'm proud that, you know, you go on YouTube, and anyone looking to see footage of meat stock, I was able to get some damn good coverage that might convince enough people to go. And if I can do that and get anyone into, you know, real barbecuing, win. That is a win. Now, something we got to discuss, talking all things meat stock. Fat Friday, Meat Stock Sydney. How good is this going to be, man? We got the living end, we got all these other racks out there, we got everyone travelling that way. Unfortunately, couldn't get there. I would have loved to have. You know, maybe next year. But to everyone who's going, have an awesome time. To all the teams competing, have an awesome time. Good luck. Cheers to you. I'm having a drink for all of y'all Meat Stock Sydney, starting with Fat Friday tonight. God damn, it gets me pumped. So that's awesome. There'll be plenty of people out there getting enough coverage of it and enough interviews and doing things out there. So that's awesome. I'm keen. I'm excited to see what comes out of it. I've already seen, you know, Meat Stock themselves have put up their live. They did a live earlier today, getting things ready and showing all the big pits coming in, and oh man, it's exciting stuff. It really gets the blood going. It's fun. So yeah, something I said a while back that I want to do is, are we going to get Grill Marks Barbecue at Meat Stock as a competing team? I'd like to have Grill Marks Barbecue as a team and competing anywhere. Problem is, there's not a whole lot of events happening in Melbourne, and when they do come up, you got to kind of get in them quickly. Whereas, we all know Meat Stock is a yearly spectacular event, and if you want to enter as a minor team, then you can for a fee. And I think knowing and having that guarantee that here's when the event is, here's what's going to happen, you know what the setup's like. And you get to go straight to the big stage. You know, you're competing in a real awesome environment. Then I'd love to do that possibly next year. That is a goal. Not saying Grill Marks Barbecue is going to also have, you know, be a team ongoing, but we would like to have that as sort of. I would love to have that as a side thing. So get some people involved and compete at Meat Stock or at any other events in Melbourne. Where, you know, within Victoria, whenever the opportunity presents itself. That'd be awesome. So that's one of the goals for Grill Marks Barbecue. The other is keep consistent with this GrillCave Banter thing. You know, wherever it leads, I hope it becomes something big. If it doesn't, whatever. But yeah, I'm keen. And then obviously more cooks, more how-to videos, more guides. I've looked back at the posts and the videos I've done on, you know, across our, you know, socials, Instagram and Facebook and YouTube, primarily YouTube, and you see the videos that have done well everywhere, and it's the entire cooks. So right from the trimming of the protein, right through to the, you know, to the rubbing, to the checking up on it, to what I'm cooking with, what pit am I using, what wood flavor, you know, the wrapping of it, the carving. The ones that are really in depth where we're talking about cutting against the grain and how we're serving it, and was the bite good? Did it fall off the bone, or did it have the bite mark but not? Was it competition style? Was it backyard style? Those seem to have done really well. Even if they're long form, they've actually done really well on Instagram and stuff, which is short form. So I found that funny, but I know they do well on YouTube, but it's them also on Instagram that people seem to like. I mean, everyone loves the snippets of the food and showing the quick videos, you know, the reel style clips, like the reels, and they always do great. But I'm surprised how much reaction the actual full cook videos have gotten. So I want to do more of them, and I want to do a lot more like barbecuing tips and advice, like how to, not just showing the foods, but helping people, the kind of people that helped myself when I was learning, because that was a big deal. That's what got me to where I am now. Having people, and you know, you can never have too many. there's heaps that show you and learn, but there's always a question that someone might have that might be real specific, right down to a wood or a cut of meat or a certain pit that they're using, or combinations of things that are relevant to the cook and their situation specifically. And you might not be able to find it online right down to a T. And if I happen to fill that niche spot, like example, cooking ribs upright on a rack in a Weber barbecue with lumped charcoal, purely lumped charcoal, but having poor ventilation on a pit, how to make it work. Like something really obscure, you know, someone might be looking for that, because I was the guy who was looking for like the brisket on a gas grill thing. Someone filmed it and someone showed, here's what you get, here's how you do it. It didn't work for me, but I wanted to know something, and it taught me about how indirect cooking works as compared to direct cooking, and how smoke is generated through the combustion of the wood into infusing the meat. I learned that just from someone sharing a video on smoking on a gas grill, because that's where I was at, and that's what I was trying to do with the tools that I had. And because of watching that video, that's what led me down the rabbit hole into the real whole world of low and slow, and that actually opened the door for me. So if I can do that for someone somehow, you know, just filming as much as I can and getting content, that's a big deal. So, yeah. Alright, it's time for me to get a real refill. A refill. So, anyway, look, that's going to be it for today. That's my story on barbecuing so far. To everyone at Fat Friday tonight in Meatstock, Sydney, have a freaking awesome weekend. I want to see lots of footage. I want to see photos, videos, I want to see interviews. Show me everything you got. So, guys, until next time, I'm empty, but still. Cheers. This is GrillMarks Barbecue, and this is GrillCave Banter. Take care, everyone.